And I'll say that for any smoker in my life, I tell them, quit smoking traditional cigarettes now and switch to vaping if it helps you quit. That is my position on this. The fact that we haven't had clear messaging in this country, I think actually literally kills people.
Who taught you how to do this stuff?
You, all right? I learned it by watching you.
But guess what? We got a lot to do. You gotta say hi to me. We go back a long way. She was 12, I was 30, but anyway.
At White House Senior Living, our residents feel right at home. Our vibrant facility offers delightful activities and outings, round-the-clock professional care, and exquisite house-made meals.
Well, I've been eating everything that's put in front of me. I've been eating all Italian foods, basically.
And ice cream.
And ice cream, chocolate chip ice cream.
White House Senior Living, where residents feel like presidents.
The 9 most terrifying words in the English language are, I'm from the government and I'm here to help.
I'm dying to see what America's going to do to this. I'll use my favorite word again, clusterfuck, 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 clusterfuck.
It's a trap!
It actually is a trap.
It's a trap!
I'd like one of you bureaucrats out there to look me in the eye and tell me, when does my husband's life matter to you? Because it matters every day, every second of every day to me.
Well, I am full. I got barbecue chicken and coleslaw, and I made these peanut butter soba noodles. They were awesome. Sprinkle some green onions and some peanuts on. It was awesome. But anyway, I'm full. And welcome to the show. Kevin is in the back room, and Michelle Elliott was the first. She was the first in here, and she said, "I hope y'all are having a fantastic evening." Hello, Michelle. And then Jason was here behind her, and after her, and after him, I guess Mallory. Oh no, Mallory was here before Jason. I'm sorry, Jason was third. And then Omicidal's here, and James R is here, and Michael Redfern's here, and some schmuck named Kevin is in the chat room as well. Addie's here. People are here. That is awesome. And hello, everyone. But we got stuff to talk about. Look at, I got like redneck stuff going on here. I feel like I'm itching. But anyway, I don't know why. But maybe I'm allergic to the peanuts. Could be. Yeah. So we got stuff to talk about tonight. Some fun stuff. Not as expansive as you would think. And we do have a lively FDA discussion at the end of tonight's show on here on the wide broadcast, and then we have FDA stuff on the Rumble as well. So it's going to be fun. But let me go ahead and bring in Kevin and get Kevin all set up and ready to go so that he can be cantankerous and stuff. Boop, beep, bop. So what the hell's going on, Kev?
So I got Logan the other day, and we're talking about eating, and he wanted some bread, fresh bread, of course, he said, and cheese. So he got his fresh bread and cheese.
Fresh bread and cheese.
And then he mushes it like he's 5, and he eats it. It's like paper thin. Well, and I said, hey, have you ever had green beans? And he said, I don't like those. And then I said, have you ever had pizza? And he said, I don't like that. And I said, what do you like? He said, Pop, I love you very much, but I don't like you right now. And I'm still pondering over that, so bear with me. And plus, now I got to put up with your dumb ass. So how are you, Patrick? How's your chicken? Did you like
it? Of course. I mean, it's barbecued chicken. I mean, you can't really fuck. I mean, you could, I guess. You could fuck it up. But,
you could. So don't ask my grandson what he likes for supper.
He'll eat whatever I cook him, and he'll be glad.
He had me laughing so much. Anyway,
so other than that, no excitement this week for you, Kevin. Nope.
Boring old man tales of just shaking my fists and being cantankerous and pointing at my no soliciting sign this afternoon. I love that.
I did tweet a little bit today. I don't think anybody noticed it, but I did tweet some stuff today.
Yeah,
I did.
I got on it earlier.
Other than that, I retweeted my 2 treats of the week, and then I tweeted some of my own stuff that I had borrowed from. Well, I retweeted WHO Europe.
Yeah. Oh,
and
hey, listen, let's just cut you off right now. I would like to say that I personally, because I don't care about Patrick anyway. Does any of us do any of us really?
Not really.
You people who have the power to put in. I have an ability to vote. I don't have a power to put in or whatever a community note on my own yet. There's some kind of secret passcode or handshake or something. But you people who are putting them in, whoo, you're doing well. And those of you like me who can vote on them, and I assume it's everybody. Wow, good job, great job. Because keep doing that. There,
well, Jason, here I'm gonna see if I'm currently shadow banned.
Are you shadow banned? What? What? Rod.
It says running shadow banned. Nope.
Huh? You're not.
I am currently not shadow banned. It's on the shadow ban for Twitter site.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's usable now that it's no longer.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I've had
they changed the name, but it says I am currently not shadow banned. So I guess you're wrong. You're wrong, Jason. Wrong.
Did Simon Chapman reply to your request for appearance?
No. He has me blocked though, so I don't expect he will.
Huh.
I don't think he's a chicken shit, so he's not gonna.
Because what community note his ass?
Yeah, but here, Kev. Here, speaking of community, we should here. Let's talk about this thing.
Let's go.
Let's talk about this. This is from the New York Post. New York Post. There's a hat. There's a hat ad.
Hats are us.
There's a hat ad. It says child vaping hospitalizations skyrocket 733%, including kids under 5. Kevin.
Is this
733%.
Yeah.
That's pretty high.
733% increase in parents not watching their fucking kids. Is that what you're telling me? That's
I would assume. Right. And then there's a video about how to talk to your kids about vaping. We're not going to do that. We're just going to keep going here. It says boys and girls aged under 5 are booming. Boys and girls aged under 5 are booming. So ill from vaping, they are ending in hospital with 733% increase over. I'm not having a stroke here, Kevin. It says boys and girls aged under 5 are do you see it change? Becoming so ill from vaping, they are ending up in hospital with a 733% increase over 4 years, and under 20s need treatment. Last year, there were 50 admissions to hospital for vaping-related disorders involving children, including 11 aged 4 and under.
Let me explain something to you people in the crowd. What? It's not a disorder when 4-year-olds are doing it. Go ahead. I hate editing in the middle of your sentences, but
Yeah. So anyway, in 2020, no preschoolers were given hospital treatment for using e-cigarettes, and only 6 youngsters needed hospital help. Now, I'm assuming this is the New York Post, but here they're talking about in figures from NHS London, total admissions of all people, kids and adults, for such disorders has soared by 276% in 4 years since 2020.
bullshit. Oh, excuse me.
And there's the stats revealed in an FA or a FOIA. That's not a FOIA. The FOI, Freedom of Information. They're missing some stuff.
Same
Show
thing
admissions.
over there, I guess.
Yeah, show admissions of kids made up just 6% of total admissions in 2020. But last year, 14% of the 365 vape-related hospital admissions related to patients under aged 19 and under. That. So, again, there's 365 people, I guess, hospitalized in the UK for vaping stuff.
Yeah.
Now, not that I agree that this is in any way, shape, or form accurate, Kevin, but I wonder how many people in England are hospitalized per year due to smoking or all the diseases that they blame, smoking related illnesses, Kevin.
That's worded very well. Yes, I don't know.
Now it says, and between 2020 and 2024. There was a 733% increase in the total number of children who are being submitted to hospital for vape-related disorders.
Yeah.
What the fuck is vape-related disorders?
Well, how is it a disorder? Could you describe the disorder?
Is there a disease? I mean,
let me look up disorder. I want to make sure we're talking out our right side of the ass. That's all. Yeah.
Disorders. Disorders like Addie's wood shop. I've seen pictures. It's very disordered.
Well, my desk at times. A state of confusion, a tiresome days of mess and disorder. That's what it is. It's a noun.
They jammed the vape in the butt, according to Tic Tac.
Hiya, Paul.
Yeah. It comes as MPs have backed a plan to ban anyone born after 2009 from buying cigarettes, effectively ensuring it will become law in the future. So again, we've talked about this. They're banning adults from adult things.
It's never going to work
in England.
It's never going to work.
And they're going to create a wonderful, vibrant, and very dangerous black market in the UK. They already have.
Well, that's how 4-year-olds will get them. They're
Experts said the rise in kids vaping was due to child-friendly flavors and government's decision to allow a vaping free-for-all. Jonathan Grigg, a professor of pediatric respiratory medicine at Queen Mary University of London, co-authored a paper in 2023 warning that kids who use vapes are more likely to take up tobacco smoking. Again, please provide me evidence that this is true, because there is no. I've not seen anything that confirms this lie at all. At all. He said this increase in hospitalizations is a totally predictable consequence of the government's decision to allow a vaping free-for-all with flavors designed to attract children and young people, and the disastrous assumption that vaping has little or no adverse health effects.
Okay, so free-for-all is a replacement phrase for Wild Wild West. Wonderful. Good. See what I did there? That's what they did.
Did you see your sister Sonia is here?
Sonia? Got Michelle and Sonia and Mel.
You got a lot of sisters.
Well, see.
Sarah McFadden, head of policy and public affairs at Asthma Plus Lung UK, said the figures were deeply worrying. She added, Asthma Plus Lung UK. I don't Is this supposed to really be a plus? I mean, are we asthma plus UK? Emphasizes our stance that it is already illegal to sell vapes to under 18s, and we strongly discourage non-smokers, especially children, from starting vaping. It is crucial the government takes action to prevent the vaping industry from marketing their products towards children. Enforcement of the age of sale laws is also a problem and should be better resourced so that the young people cannot access vapes. How about you just tell parents not to let your kids vape and beat their asses? I mean, come on. It's not that hard.
Oh, Patrick. Stop being so condescending. But what exactly is it my grandson's parents and I and his other grandparents are doing wrong that he doesn't seem to want to use the vape? He doesn't even acknowledge it's there.
I mean, obedience is crucial. That's all. That's what I'm saying. Is, it is important that obey become part of his language, Kevin.
Yeah.
I'm checking my Bluetooth.
I don't
settings
placate
over
well
here,
with
Kevin.
others. Hear me?
Oh. You don't placate?
I don't. I do not placate well with others. Just so you know.
Just so you know.
That's right.
Let me open my window here. I had to go do a YouTube or a Bluetooth connectivity doohickey. All right. Anyway, it says here the figures obtained in a Freedom of Information by news agency SWNS show in 2020, 97 people were admitted to a hospital, including 1 10 to 14-year-old and 5 15 to 19-year-olds. In 2021, some 300 people were admitted, 19 kids, 3 youngsters aged 10 and under, and 16 10 to 19-year-olds. Now, I'm wondering, Kevin,
what
could it be possible that these children may have had a vape in their possession when they were admitted to the hospital, so that they're blaming anything that happened to that child on a vape pen just because they had one in their pocket?
Well, you'll recall a child in Canada died because he was having a stroke, and they said, well, he had a vape, and he died.
Yeah, I recall that. I do recall
that. Because they don't know how to fucking test a kid because he's got a vape.
Yeah. Yeah.
They didn't clandestine.
Kevin, later on, there's a story in here in the show notes that we're going to be covering that indicates that the young ladies in the UK are the worst culprits when it comes to vaping and the drinking of the alcohol.
No.
Yes,
what?
My Fair Lady. My
sisters would never do that.
The rain in Spain stays mainly on the plane and give me a shot of scotch. I mean,
hey, how you doing?
That's what the latest numbers out of the UK are showing, that the girls in the UK,
hello ladies, how you doing?
Are alcoholic vapors.
Yeah, that's a blanket statement for all time.
But we'll get there. We'll get there. So it says here, Kev, this new one, this thing here that I'm going to show you in just a second. It says, come on, share screen button. There you go. It says, this is convenient. This is the Convenience Store magazine of the UK, and it says here, new study highlights importance of vape flavors. A new report by the Royal College of Physicians has urged the government not to ban flavored vapes. And that's all I can read.
And why would you want to ban those?
Because it's for, we got to save the children, Kev.
Because I'm sure somewhere along the line, you can walk into any politician's office and find out what they like, and then get some flavoring for cardboard, and then serve them what they really like in cardboard flavor and allow them to consume that. Said, right. Well, you could have it wet cardboard if you like, but either way, or maybe like when you take a stick of gum. Remember when you were a kid, if you had a cavity and you hit that fucking tinfoil on your oh, that fucking stung. Get that kind of taste,
Oh,
that
really?
tin taste in your mouth.
Really? You're gonna paywall me now after I've read the article like 3 times? Really?
Or just manure.
Manure.
Yeah.
Do you know what another word for manure is?
Well, if I could think of a couple, but what would you prefer?
There's
Excrement?
I did not know this. The word hummus.
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 What? I thought that was.
I was looking for another word
For manure.
For manure the other day.
What do you do in your spare time? No, don't tell me. I don't want to.
And hummus came up as a hit.
Yeah.
As a hit on this.
Well,
I got to go over here. I got to see something here. It is this article that I really want to. Here, I think I can use this one. Yeah, this one is showing up, and it's a read. So the link in the thing is from a source called The Telegraph, but apparently it's giving me shit now. It wants me to buy a subscription, so
it's giving you hummus.
We will. Luckily, Yahoo has repeated this. It says, school stops lavatory breaks during lessons in vaping crackdown.
Oh, my God.
Okay. A school has stopped children from using the lavatory during lessons as part of a crackdown on vaping, leading concerned parents to complain it makes their children uncomfortable and embarrassed.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you're just going to have to, start wearing an adult brief.
Yep.
Depends. Yeah. Get yourself send your kids to school with a Depends. Anyway, however, student or teachers at Winton Community Academy in Hanover, Hampshire, this is in England, by the way, have stayed resolute on the measures, with a spokesperson insisting they are necessary to protect students from exposure to vaping. So you're not worried at all about them having any sort of bowel problems or
yeast infections,
urinary tract infections, or any kidney infections or anything like that.
You fucking people.
Yep, the rules were introduced at the start of the academic year to prevent pupils from smoking e-cigarettes, stop bullying, and reduce disruption of learning. Kaylee Gilbert, a parent of 2 children at the school, said, "I have gone through so many emotions, and I was just really angry and upset that my kids are not allowed to do a natural thing." That's right. Pooping is very natural. You are told that you shouldn't hold your pee in, so it's really dangerous. And why should my children suffer just because some other kids wanted to vape? A 32-year-old has since applied for a lavatory pass for her 11-year-old son who has autism. Rebecca Ewan, 37, said things had become so bad that she had taken her disabled daughter out of the school. The mother, who has 2 children aged 13 and 15, said she also asked for a lavatory pass. She added, "It makes me feel extremely frustrated and angry because you just feel completely powerless, because no matter how hard you try and tell the school, they just do not seem to listen. It's just mortifying that my daughter would have to stand up and argue with the teacher about going to the toilet. Imagine a young girl having to stand up in front of her class and talk about her period."
Tyrants.
We told you this was going to happen about the period thing. We did tell you that.
Yep.
Go back and look in all the old shows. We mentioned it. Another mother of 2 who did not want to be named, but whose daughter attends the school, said the situation was particularly hard for young girls starting their period. Here, Kevin, try to pronounce this name right here for me.
Oh, hang on, let me. Nadeja Kurnazov.
Okay, we'll go with that. whose 13-year-old daughter is a pupil, said her daughter has stopped drinking water at school. The 34-year-old said, "It makes me feel very sad, and I have tried to contact the school, and all they say is they are going to sort it. My daughter has got to the point where she doesn't want to drink anything, and she comes out of school desperate to have a drink. When I was in high school, I was desperate to have a drink every afternoon too. Oh, not water though. Okay. Anyway, we do have to monitor bathrooms, unfortunately, due to the need to protect students from the exposure to vaping. Also, historically, toilets in schools were places where bullying might take place, so we monitor facilities to ensure everyone's safety and well-being." So, are you monitoring them, or are you preventing children from using them? Because it sounds like you think you're monitoring them, but it sounds to the parents like you have forbidden their children from dropping a deuce or draining their bladder at school.
Are you
Kevin?
asking me?
Well, I'm just saying out loud, and I assume that you're paying attention.
Well, if there's, I just typed what I was thinking. If teachers can't go to the bathroom and the kids can't go to the bathroom, and they all stay in there, and then they're just going to pee, and then that'll spread germs, and then somebody's going to pee their pants and become embarrassed, and then somebody else is going to have her period and be embarrassed, and you're taking their personalities, their dignity, their pride, their embarrassment is going to be increased, and you're doing this to 0 to 18-year-olds. What is wrong with you? You fucking monkeys. Stop it.
Yeah. So it says here, like most secondary schools across the country, we ask students to use the toilets before and after lessons to prevent disruption to their learning. Now, let me ask, if it was me and I was at that school, I would ask, the teacher, do you always know 45 minutes in advance? I'm assuming a class, like here, a class is 45 to 50 minutes long. Do you know in 45 minutes in advance that you have to pee or poop all the time? I myself, I'm going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm old. I sometimes don't know 45 minutes in advance or 50 minutes in advance if I'm going to have to pee in 45 minutes.
Raj, you make a good point, because those fucktards don't want to blame anything on children. They want to blame industry generally on paper. And they're directly punishing the children in this very article, in this very thought, in this very substance of stupidity. That's exactly what they're doing.
Okay. So this is just as brutal torture as you would do to a criminal in prison.
Yes.
Right. This is psychological torture is what this is.
Yes.
Because A, you're physically requiring that they hold it in. Yeah. And B, if they can't hold it in, you're requiring them to raise their hand, announce to the world, hey, my Aunt Flo is here, and I need to go take care of this.
Asking permission to take a piss.
Yeah.
Where do you do that, Patrick? Where in the world?
Can I have some more?
Where is that done other than school, evidently?
Prison,
right. Tyrants. Y'all can go fuck yourselves. I'm way behind on telling you that. Whoever you are.
Uh-huh. So if a child has a medical need, that means they need to go in lesson time as well. They are given a pass to avoid embarrassment. Now, how is that embarrassing? How is that less embarrassing? So the other kids that don't have a health problem or don't have a parent that's going to go fight for them that doesn't have a pass is going to be upset that Miss Such and Such or Mr. Such and Such is special. Why can they do something that I can't do? That's even more embarrassing. That's even setting them apart even further.
Now it's discrimination as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Any child with an emergency, either desperate for the loo or period related, is allowed to leave the class and go to the toilet.
And
so now this is sexual discrimination because a boy doesn't have a period, but he might need to go drop a deuce.
Well, let me ask you, Patrick. I don't imagine that you and I were the perfect ideals of students necessarily, but let's pretend a straight A student with zero discipline problems has to take a piss and now is afraid, intimidated to say, "May I please use the fucking bathroom?"
No, Kevin, I was the opposite. I was a straight A student with a whole hell of a lot of behavioral problems. It pissed the teachers off that I would sleep through class and still make A's. Anyway, having listened to families' concerns, we have monitored many queuing times to use the bathroom during break times, and at no time has a student had to wait longer than 30 seconds to a minute.
Yeah.
So?
And? Logan's 5. I have to tell him.
He's saying that they're allowed to no. So just so that we're clear when we're reading this, he's saying that they if they go during break times, they still have ample time that they shouldn't have to wait more than 30 seconds to a minute to use the toilet.
Yeah.
During break time.
Yeah.
But in class, if they have an urgent need and they have to wait 5 minutes while they're heckling the teacher trying to get permission to go, they may have pissed themselves by then.
Yeah.
Yeah. It says, looking ahead, we will have additional toilets in our building, which will be open in the summer.
Well, that'll help. Additional toilets. I suggest you just get porta potties and just stick them in every classroom. And then the teachers and the administrators will have to clean those thoroughly every day.
I would just tell my kid, look, if they won't let you go pee, just go into the corner of the classroom and pull it out and pee in the corner.
Yep. Burn in here.
And if they have a problem, you tell them to call me.
Because your undeveloped brain can't tell you much else. Just go where you got to go. Don't go.
I'm not 25. I'm not fully formed yet.
I'm confused.
Well, I haven't developed those control things,
I'm glad this wasn't in my kids' schools. And let me ask you, Patrick, when we were smoking, because we were smoking in school, and on occasion I was known to, well, by me, to run to the bathroom on occasion, but not every day. And not every period and not every week necessarily, but I'd go smoke half cigarette or whatever. And I always surely came back smelling like smoke, and nobody was concerned about that one bit. And it was 30% of us were smoking at the time, I think.
Well, I think at the time the teachers just were like, you know what, as long as they're learning and they're passing my class, I don't give a shit. But now all these teachers, and I'm sorry in advance, Kevin, if there's anybody in the chat room that's a teacher or has a loved one that's a teacher, but
I have
damn well know, Kevin, I have provided the evidence. The Department of Education has U.S. Department of Education has provided the evidence. 10% of kids that are in public school are not learning because their teachers are fucking them.
Right.
Or they're sexually abusing. 10% of kids in public school in the United States are sexually assaulted by a teacher. Now, these are the same teachers that are demanding to have the right to educate kids about alternative lifestyles, that are demanding the right to regender your child.
Mm-hmm.
These are the people that are grooming them for the future, Kevin. This is disturbingly frightening. As a person that doesn't have a child, I'm frightened, and I don't have a child. But if I had kids in school today, and I know, I've shown you guys the facts. It's on my Twitter. You can go look it up. The U.S. Department of Education has released the numbers. They've admitted it. Teachers are inappropriately touching children, and they're also demanding the right to preach to them some sort of gender ideology
We have two.
That is not
sexual,
appropriate for teachers to teach.
We have two right now current sexual cases in the Dayton area. Innocent till proven guilty, 2 at the moment.
2 football coaches here in Corpus Christi, Texas, were just arraigned today. Today.
I can't imagine that anybody touching my grandson will get to trial. So,
these people should not be having, that type of conversation. They're already diddling the kids. We don't need them in any way, shape, or form adjusting the children's way of thought. Let the child figure that out. Let the parents figure that out with the child. If they need help, get them professional help, not somebody that went to college to, because they couldn't figure out anything else to do. But anyway, Kevin, I don't want to go on a rant about education anymore. Let's move on. Oh, this is actually about education too.
Well,
vapes can be found sold around the corner, in someone's hand or pocket. And we're also finding them.
Now, I find it disturbing, Kevin. If I'm out in the world and some news camera guy is coming around,
or pocket,
I am not going to let him get that close to my face to video my lips.
You got no business being anywhere near me.
Yeah.
And we're also finding them in Central Texas schools.
Yeah, and a lot of our students and stakeholders are not.
Now, Kevin, you can see behind me, I have a row of Funko Pops up here, right?
You do.
You can
see
that. You can see my Funko Pops.
Yep.
Now, I am not an educator. I'm not like somebody that should be taken, in a some sort of serious manner. I can put my toys on screen because this is my home. This is my room. This is my sanctum sanctorum. But to have some sort of superintendent of schools with a Funko Pop of Ted Lasso on his bookshelf, I find that he loses
Ted Lasso
professionalism points right there.
Not aware of yet. It's definitely something we've seen a dramatic rise in the last 15 years, and it's something we're really trying to educate our students and stakeholders about.
Zach Oldham, Round Rock ISD's Westwood area superintendent, is in charge of 11 schools out of 56 in the district. He says vaping is a nationwide problem, and he says kids have been caught with vaping products in the halls, classrooms, restrooms, and more.
It's not good at any level, but it's all the way down to second, third grade. We've seen it. So yeah, it's something that it's dangerous.
Second and third grade, Kevin.
I call bullshit, but all right.
I find that to be unbelievable.
I just call bullshit. Fuck them.
Unless these are like second and third grade students that are the children of high school of high school students. No, we did a story a while back of a 11-year-old girl giving birth.
Mm-hmm.
That's frightening enough, but
Yeah. 10-year-olds.
Last summer, the Texas legislature passed HB 114, which requires schools to place students found vaping in alternative schools or disciplinary program for a period of time. Vaping products with THC are already banned.
So non-THC.
I mean, this is Texas. THC is banned in all forms in Texas.
It's already banned. Imagine that.
THC vapes on campus or within 300 feet of a campus. Were required to be placed in a DAP.
That's an alternative school students are sent to. The Round Rock Opportunity Center is one out of 2 options. Oldham says discipline is on a case-by-case basis.
Usually 5-day placement. That's for a first-time offense. Obviously, if they're found with several and intent to distribute or something like that, it could carry a heavier stay, a lengthier stay.
He says they want to make sure they're educating students on the dangers of vaping by putting together a research project about it.
We've seen a very low return of students, with that, which has been beneficial.
Oldham says he's glad there's legislation to help with the crackdown on vaping products.
Yeah, Sonia, you can get 0.0. That's hemp based. It's either Delta or a CBD. It's not marketed as a THC vape, though. yes, I mean there is a threshold because they just can't filter it all out. But yeah, come on,
schools.
And I think they're just trying to do the right thing to make sure our students are educated, to be held accountable. With that accountability also comes with educating our students on those dangers as well. And that's what we're trying to work hard on.
So Patrick,
what?
I'm gonna do whatever the White House idiot said. Come back around. So there's a vaping problem in the United States. The kids.
I don't really
Right.
believe it's as bad as what they say it is, but okay.
Well, it's ad nauseum. So you got the problem, and then you got all these solutions. And this gentleman said 15 years worth of troubles, and you got all these educated dumbasses who can't figure this out. And again, nobody says that the sales are at fault at all. They all blame the kids, which are through no fault of their own.
I'm actually fine with them blaming the kids a little bit and blaming the person that sold them a little bit too. You have to teach these children accountability at some point.
Well, yeah,
that's
the point. But
so yeah, I mean, I'm all for a little bit of punishment for the little rugrats. That'll learn them not. Kevin, if you had been allowed to do whatever you wanted to do as a child and there had been no repercussions, how would you have turned out?
Probably more like you, I guess.
Yeah. So you'd be a little bit of a psycho, you do it, have no filters, do whatever the fuck you wanted, and don't care if it hurts anybody. You were never taught ramifications or repercussions of your actions. So
case by case, though. He said case by case.
Yeah.
So
if you're a star athlete and you get caught, that's that.
There's selective.
That's gonna be different.
Yeah, there's selective case by case. If it's this is the rule and that's that, then that's the rule, and then this is a case by case thing.
Yeah.
So they're wishy washy.
Or hey, Kevin, I will admit it right now. The school that when I went to school, they were afraid of my mother.
Right. Yeah.
They were literally afraid of my mom. Now, my mom would come and beat my ass in front of everybody at school if I did something wrong. And she had no qualms about it. She would wreck me right there at school. So, there was that. Plus, my mom was a substitute teacher and she was at the school frequently. So that did happen.
You never knew it, did you?
What? That my mother was at school? Oh, I knew when my mother was at school. Yeah. For sure.
Oh, hi, Mom.
She was my substitute. She was a substitute in my class on more than one occasion. And
here's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking all the parents that want these rules to be enforced should go sit in class and escort those kids who need it to go to the bathroom most. Mrs. Johnson, your child has gone to the bathroom 19 times this week. You need to come in here for the next week and monitor her or him.
That's fine. When I was in school, Kevin, back when I was in elementary school, and I bet you they had this when you were in school,
1940s.
Mothers in the school took turns being the room mother, or my mom was at the school frequently, so I think parents should be obligated to spend some time at the school.
Absolutely, why not?
That's gonna drop down the frequency of teachers diddling kids.
Yeah, it would. Yes, it will.
For sure.
Yes, it
especially
will.
If some of the dads showed up, because Kevin, I'm not gonna say that it's only the dude teachers, but I bet you
a
vast majority of them were dudes.
Yeah.
I mean, there are numerous stories of young ladies getting knocked up by school.
We've had them when they were giving them vapes.
So, I mean, let's be clear. I'm not saying that the female teachers are 100% innocent, but it's usually the fucking dudes. Yeah. Yeah. Here, look at this. We got another story from Texas. We're doing Texas and the UK today.
That's on a roll, ain't you?
Has really emerged as an epidemic amongst our youth.
Maybe you've seen it, and maybe you've smelt it. The Food and Drug Administration says vaping and e-cigarettes continue to grow in popularity, especially.
Let me scroll back here.
Continue to grow.
I saw a spire in that.
Administration says vaping and e-cigarettes continue to grow in popularity.
Oh, that's a Breeze 2. Wow, that's way old stock footage. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if they still make these Sauron Airs, but these Breezes are 5 years old.
Popularity, especially with teens. More than 1 in 4 teens in the U.S. use vapes daily, and in Texas, 19% of high school students.
Go Texas!
Vape.
Vaping is a huge concern for us.
To resolve the teen vaping epidemic, state lawmakers passed Texas House Bill 114 last year. It bans.
This is essentially the same whack-a-mole shit. Yeah, this is just a different superintendent telling the same thing. Oh, we're going to save the kids by sending them to a diversionary program. Look at this nerd. Let me scroll to the beginning of that guy. Let's see what
typical disciplinary action.
You're really typically not going to see much success from a very punitive approach that just
Now, this guy gives me all sorts of heebie-jeebies, Kevin. I'm just telling you.
punishes the use. If anything, adolescents will just get smarter about hiding it, which for their long-term health, we would much rather they change that behavior.
So far, AISD says they're ahead of the curve with getting teens to quit, and with their educational approach, they hope students continue to see through the smoke.
With our proactive measures, we've actually seen a reduction in number of vaping incidents from last school year.
They just got smarter. They're hiding it better.
Yep.
We want them to be in the right state of mind, the right frame, and just making sure that they're taking care of their bodies.
Thank you for watching. Please.
Thank you for watching. Go the hell away.
Stop worrying about my kid's body.
Yeah. Let me deal with my brats. You take care of your problem, you know. Yeah. Wow. Shit, we're just rolling through. You know, we don't have that much to talk about tonight, Kevin. So we're gonna roll through this shit.
We should ban Utes.
Yeah. Do you know, Kevin, what time it is?
Is it already?
That's what I'm saying.
In fact, before you do that, I went to Arby's. Janice said, "Hey, let's go out to eat," and I really don't like that. But when I do, I go to Arby's or Wendy's. So I go to Arby's. I pull up, I hand them the money, and I heard meow. That's exactly what I heard. And I said, "What the hell was that? You shouldn't do that in a fast food restaurant." And she giggled and laughed. Somebody's in the back room, meowing. And she shut the window. She did her thing. She came back up, and I went woof, and she laughed her ass off. So anyway, is it time? Is it?
I'm before we go any further, Kevin, I feel bad for your wife if she says, "Let's go out to dinner," and the first thing you think of is Wendy's.
She doesn't like restaurants, Patrick. She can't do crowds. We learned that.
I feel
now,
bad.
There is an exception. She just realized it. Brother Michael was in town a month ago, and we went to a Golden Corral, smorgasbord type.
Yeah, buffet.
And she faced a window, and after we left him and we're on our way wherever we went, she said, "I think I figured out how I can do a restaurant." And I said, "Okay, how's that?" She had trouble last night with a pizza box, so a microwavable pizza box. I said, "How's that?" She said, "Well, I wasn't facing anybody in the room except your brother, and that didn't bother me."
Oh, so she liked looking at your brother.
Well, that's fine. And when she's facing, it's okay, relax. I've got 5 of them to choose from. She's fine. And when she's facing the crowd or she sees people passing her, that fucks with her head. She doesn't like that.
Yeah.
So we haven't been to a restaurant forever. Anyway.
Okay.
Interesting little thing. That's all.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Kevin? Here.
It's time for the Vape Cats X of the Week.
Wow. So this week you sent me one tweet.
Yep, I did.
And it's from our wonderful friend Southern Vapor, who's in the chat room right now.
Is she? Oh, well, see.
Yeah.
Now
she was. I don't know if she still is, but she was.
I'll take this. I made it larger so I can see it. Please rethink this advertising. You are shaming two sets of humans here and walking a fine line of temptation to both sets who would benefit from you understanding this simple fact. Meet people where they are. Don't shame them. You will get a better outcome of health. Simple fact. Now, I was going to be a prick above the same tweet she's responding to. And then I was anyway, but because I thought it was funny what I was going to say, but that's just me amusing myself. I thought, wow, I should be more like Southern Vapor. Sometimes.
I really wish you would, but so the tweet that she's shaming here, that she's dragging out into the light of, the real world. Yeah. It says the obesity death rate is overtaking cigarette smoking. Consume with caution. And they've made a nice little cute little meme here.
Yeah.
It says the obesity death rate is overtaking current or cigarette smoking, and they made a Marlboro French fries pack. Isn't that cute? I mean, this is actually and this is from 2018.
Yeah.
So this is not even a new thing. This is 6 years old.
No,
and they're retweeting something. Huh?
It popped up somehow.
Well, yeah. I mean, this tweet is from 2018 as well.
Yeah.
So every once in a while, I've noticed that some of my old tweets are starting to get comments on them. And I'm like, what the hell? This is. I was like, what?
Why? Right.
Yeah. So I actually have a similar tweet that we're going to talk about in a little while, not during the tweets, but that I might have fallen into this trap, Michelle. But you tell me later on when we get to it. But
reprimanding.
Yeah. So again, in my effort to promote people outside of our circles, Kevin, I know that
I know.
I like, because when I retweet it, then it becomes part of our circle.
Well, I was going to give you one from who, but I chose not to.
Well, that'll be one that when I show my tweets later on, I might. But this is from Considerate Pouchers.
Yeah.
Which I'm assuming is a nicotine pouch organization or person. It says, are nicotine pouches the Cancer Society's new target, despite being much less risky than smoking and showing little interest among non-smokers? Products with the potential to reduce cancer rates should be celebrated and not shamed. And then there's a picture. It says, if nicotine pouches are tobacco-free, why does the Cancer Society advocate for such stringent regulations on them? And then there it says tobacco-free. Idris says, I asked myself the same question.
There's got to be a reason.
Yeah, because they don't have anything else to do now that smoking is down and,
almost non-existent.
They don't have any money flowing in, so they gotta do something.
In fact, Patrick, before you move on, was it Dr. Glover? And I really only could find New Zealand saying so in any official form. 5% is considered smoke-free in a population.
Yes.
So is that I said, whether it is or not, a global acceptance standard of 5%?
That's what I understand.
So in the United States, kids, hydrate and be seated when you hear this. I don't want y'all to hurt yourselves and fall off your chairs. The children have become, according to the 5%. smoke free. And I think it's actually happened a couple of years ago, and nobody cares. Nobody
cares, Kevin. What the hell are you trying to do?
You didn't know.
Yeah. So here, this is from a new, it's a new account to me, actually, Kevin.
Okay.
This is from Analyze and Optimize.
Never heard of them.
Nicotine, a cognitive enhancer. Low doses, around 7 milligram, increases brain metabolism by 30%. It restores memory, it enhances learning, and it tells you by stimulating the cholinergic system. And it says, not advised to start doing nicotine. So there's a picture here of a non-nicotine brain. This is what happens when you add nicotine. It says here, the Alzheimer's patient, nicotine, 7 milligrams PET scan is at the bottom, and the placebo is at the top. So they gave somebody a placebo first, took a picture, and then gave them 7 milligrams of a human, a human brain with Alzheimer's. Says the images were normalized to the average of the maximum values. Both images are from the transaxial slices at the level of the thalamus. The thalamus can be identified as the butterfly lightness in the center area of the nicotine PET scan. So this shape right here. Isn't that cool?
Looks like an alien.
Nicotine lights up your brain. Look at that.
Well,
these are all of the nutrients that feed that cholinergic system.
In the 60s and 70s, at least to my recollection, probably the 80s, speed was a big thing for truckers / people who had to be on the road or up all night, that kind of thing. And also caffeine and nicotine in its form was cigarettes back then, of course, because there wasn't really any other choice. Caffeine had a few. Yeah. Nothing wrong with people trying to enhance themselves.
No.
Really.
If it helps you, why would you would you let somebody make you feel guilty about it? You know what I'm saying? Right. So you may or may not have seen this tweet today that I sent out. And this is the one that I was talking about that may have tipped the scales of Southern Vapors thing.
Well,
this is here.
The
Philippines
is encouraged.
Yeah. The Philippines will soon require images of torture porn on vaping packaging to scare smokers away from a reduced harm nicotine product. So here's the picture that I'm referring to. This is from an article. Here's the link. There's 4 templates here. So it says this product is harmful and contains nicotine, which is a highly addictive substance. This is not recommended by use for non-smokers. And then they have this picture of this guy with a breathing mask on. They've blacked out his eyes. I don't know why they've blacked out his eyes, but it looks like his tongue is sticking out here.
Well,
so that's actually a hole in the breathing mask for air to come in to mix with the O2. So, I was kind of upset by that. So then I created my own little message for them. And it says, health warning, exercise causes obesity, Philippine Department of Health.
That's right.
So they've made a causal relation, nicotine and poor health that does not exist.
Of course.
So I created another one for them to,
Editing is hard, isn't it?
Yeah. So here's the story that it came from. Here, let me close this. It says vape warnings to have vape packaging to have graphic health warnings. You scroll down here, and there's the picture that I shared. And it says here, Like regular cigarettes, all electronic cigarettes and vapes sold in physical and online stores in the Philippines will contain graphic health warnings on their packaging starting next month to discourage a growing number of Filipinos, especially the youth, from using the harmful products. So they're steering people away from a less harmful product.
Yeah.
With pictures of a kid on a respirator.
Yeah.
In an advisory issued on Wednesday, the Department of Health said the policy would take effect on May 12th and apply to all vaporized nicotine and non-nicotine products and novel tobacco products, including vapes. According to the health agency, the graphic health warnings will eat up half the packaging material of vapes and literally show the harm that smoking these products can do to the body. So now do they have some sort of evidence that I haven't seen that vaping will cause you to require oxygen to live?
Evidently,
because they're saying that it can. That
I'm
these
doing
products
it wrong.
can do to the human body, Kevin.
Yeah.
So they're making definitive statements here.
Mm-hmm.
Along with anti-smoking groups, the Department of Health said it was optimistic that the campaign would replicate the success of graphic health warnings on cigarette packaging and lowering the number of tobacco users in the country. I can promise you, Kevin, that graphic health warnings has not lowered the number of smokers in that country.
Well, Patrick,
I've been there.
The little
My
video.
wife is from there.
Right. The little video that you play on occasion, the clip of a video with Kathy, what's her face, who's now at Peak History, kind of admitted, yeah, we don't tell them all everything because we don't want that. We want to mold their little brains to do exactly what we want them to do. However, on a one-to-one basis, we can't lie, right? So they're lying, except when, in addition to the propaganda that they put out, they're blatantly fucking around, and it's not just us; it's everywhere.
I mean, but Kevin, I am not a Department of Health for an entire country. I am not. I don't have the assets of an entire country. No. But my made up bullshit health warning looks way more professional than this thing that they look how low quality this is. I mean, this is sad.
That's Kevin quality right there. I'm telling you.
They put no effort in that at all.
Because folks, I don't have any fancy shit. I got paint. That's all the graphics I can do with paint. I'm not willing to invest $80 a week for fucking graphic shit. But anyway, yeah, that looks like something I could have done, honestly.
I mean, this is pretty sad that I
it
some
is.
Schmuck. I mean,
yeah,
but yeah, they're they passed this law 2 years ago. It's taking effect now, and that ugly graphic warning is not going to scare anybody away. The graphic warnings on cigarettes didn't scare any away from smoking. They have Southeast Asia has the highest smoking rates in the world, next to India, probably. But that's not going to dissuade anybody. If I said to my father-in-law, "Does this picture scare you away from smoking?" He'd laugh at you or me. He'd laugh at me.
As would my dad. Oh yeah.
That is just distressingly, horribly, immature and
But it puts in the mind of the public that sees it. This is bad. Nicotine is bad.
Well,
it's been 40
awesome.
years of it. Huh?
Nicotine is awesome. Oh, I just showed you a tweet that shows that it boosts your brain. I mean, come on.
So why would the public health community, one, lie, and two, continue to perpetuate that lie?
Because Kevin, they derive all of their money. All of their money comes from having some windmill to tilt at. You know, they have to have an enemy to scare people away from, so that they can drum up donations and money.
So one of the bonus tweets I didn't do, and now forgive me if it's Mal or Michelle or Sonia, had coffee pots, and it said, this is caffeine is addictive on pots and cups and stuff. And I've had a couple things like that. In fact, you don't know, nicotine cup says caffeine is an addictive substance.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, that's genius, because it's another way that I was doing something that they're doing something. I wasn't the first one to think of it either. But why doesn't the public health community say, well, geez, we need to put graphic warnings on coffee cans?
Coffee, yeah.
Because, Jesus, you're killing yourselves, people. What are you doing? Because they know better. I know they know better.
Juan Valdez has a good lobbyist, Kevin.
Well, no, it's social acceptability plus lobbying.
Yeah, but that guy in his borough, they have a good lobby. Plus,
social engineering.
If they tried to ban cigarette or coffee, Kevin, I would be.
Would you?
I'd be murdering people.
See, but you got 10% of the people that smoked that aren't going to do that because they're the minority and they don't have enough voice. So stop banning shit.
Michelle said that was hers. She's claiming responsibility for the
So yeah.
So we already sort of mentioned that the UK tobacco bill is nearing the final leg of getting passed, but Filter has put out an article discussing it in depth here. It says the UK bill to ban vaping sales clears another hurdle and is nearing the final vote. The UK's tobacco ban is one step closer to becoming law. On April 16th, the Tobacco and Vapes bill passed through the House of Commons, with ministers casting 383 votes in favor and 67 votes against. So 383 ministers, I think that's what they're called over there, have voted to limit the future freedoms of UK citizens. They're limiting the freedom of current citizens, and now they're taking future freedoms away from people that aren't even born yet, Kevin. People that will be born, that will become adults, will not have the choice to make any choice for themselves.
Who's next?
Well, I mean, if they're willing to take one choice away from you, there are limitless other choices that they have at their disposal to take away from you.
When the psychotic nanny state says, well, Jesus, we don't like pork, let's ban that. That's what they want to do. And someone will back that. Someone is going to go, dude, that's a great fucking idea. The fuck is wrong with you people? It's not going to work. And I'll tell you why. Because right now it's banned for children to access adult products, yes, basically across the country and the world, and yet they still do. So why are you wasting all this fucking time and effort and money? Stop.
I just think it's funny that they've banned cocaine, Kevin.
You give me 45
that means
minutes.
Nobody in Maine.
I got jarts. They're banned. It's okay. Calm down. Relax.
It's just like they think that if they say it's illegal, then suddenly it's going to disappear and nobody's ever going to get it. And, I'm just like these types of bills, when they say no, there's always going to be people out there that will say yes.
The people who are going to get it are still going to get whatever it is you want to ban. The people that are willing to do whatever they want. Now there are other people that are just willing to lay down on and show their belly, Kevin. And those people won't, because they weren't going to anyway.
And they're going to say, "Yes, Daddy, please spank me." I'm right. I don't understand anybody's desire to allow another person to usurp their choice, their freedom to make a decision.
I got no time for that. Period.
Despite the bill's overwhelming majority approval, 57 of the opposing votes came from Prime Minister Rishi Sunak's own conservative party. So the Prime Minister, he's essentially a conservative, but he's a conservative in name only. We'll call him a rhino. Because 57 of his party members voted with 10 of the liberals, apparently, to try to stop this. This is ridiculous. Undermining his authority amid disputes over the controversial bill. The legislation will authorize on-the-spot fines on anyone selling tobacco products to anyone born on or after January 1 of 2009. It will then increase the legal age of purchase by 1 year every year, effectively outlawing smoking. No one turning 15 in 2024 will be able to buy regulated tobacco products ever, even when they become 50.
Right.
So their friend that's 60 will be able to go to the corner store and buy a pack of smokes if he wants to, or buy a vape if he wants to.
Yeah.
And he will never, even when he's 100, ever be able to do something that he wants to do
legally.
Any law that outlaws something. Now, I understand in the UK they have laws that outlaw other things like handguns, or cocaine, or there will always be people willing to sell that to you.
What was that?
The thing is that you're going to have to go to the guy that sells heroin to buy a nicotine vape,
and you will if you want it bad enough. What's that website they had, or maybe they still do? The underground thing you can buy anything.
The Silk Road.
Silk Road. I was thinking road. I couldn't remember. Oh, yeah. So anyway, that's just an example of.
Yeah, I mean,
you're going to get it.
In the dark web, Kevin. You have to have a Tor browser, and I mean,
if Paul get there. I don't think Paul would, and Bruni maybe not. But if Bruni emailed me and said, "Hey, can you get me whatever it is that he wants for his vape, if it's a carbomizer or atomizer or whatever," and I'd say, "Well, what do you want?" And then I'd try to find it, and I probably can't, and then I have to call you to call somebody else to find it for Bruni, and he'd get his shit somehow. Tell me how to package it so you get it. That's all I need.
There will be an underground, and I'm not going to say that I will be actively participating in the underground, but there will be an underground.
I will participate.
I'll send you green stuff anytime you want, Kevin.
I will participate. I'll put family records. I don't give a fuck it doesn't matter. As long as you get it.
I'll buy a warehouse in China and we'll just stock it up and have them drop ship it anywhere in the world.
Goodness gracious. Idiots.
Yeah. So the bill will, the bill will impose similar fines on anyone selling vape products to anyone under 18, as well as impose restrictions on vape flavors and packaging, a reactive measure to the panic around youth vaping. This is in addition to the vape tax announced in March. So the country we thought that was the most progressive and the most well thought out and the most considerate of this product, and the idea that harm reduction helps people, they're now one of the worst.
Now, hang on a minute.
I said one.
They limited the bottle sizes. They limited the nicotine strength. This isn't a picture of fucking flowers and candy.
No, but compared to other countries that was still very progressive.
But some people may not know that they restricted nicotine strength. They restricted bottle size. They restricted other bullshit that I don't even remember now. But it's not all perfect. However, they were progressing in a good way.
Yes.
Other than those.
And at least their public health department and the Royal College of Physicians have been extremely vocal and
just told the truth,
resisting this nonsense as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For that,
The bill's final vote will be held in June. If it becomes law as expected, it will take effect in 2027.
Good.
Former Conservative Prime Minister Liz Truss told Parliament the plan was emblematic of a technocratic establishment in this country that wants to limit people's freedoms. I love her already. Former Conservative Prime Minister Boris Johnson called it absolute nuts. Tobacco lobbyists were reportedly trying to derail the policy in the lead up to the House of Commons vote. Tobacco Harm Reduction New Nicotine Alliance has launched a campaign against the extortionate tax, which will affect everyone who vapes. Sunak announced his plans to create a smoke-free generation at the Conservative Party conference in 2023. The idea of incrementally raising the legal age of purchase was modeled after a similar ban proposed in New Zealand at the time, which has since been scrapped with the arrival of the new coalition government. So hopefully Sunak will get replaced and the smarter people will take over, and they'll be like, you know, that thing that we passed that's going to screw people over, let's not do that.
These people know the human nature no better than the people that are banning shit anywhere else, and they know better than the teachers and administrators doing shit that they're doing. They don't know shit.
So it says here, UK Chief Medical Officer Chris Whitty, a proponent of the bill, has claimed it will have a major effect on preventing disease, adding that 70% of lung cancer cases are caused by smoking. An increasing number of English adults are not aware that vapes are estimated to be 95% less harmful than cigarettes. So here's the thing, Kevin. If 70% of lung cancer cases are caused by smoking, according to this.
Yeah, according to that.
So they're saying that a construction worker or a foundry worker in Birmingham, England, that's working in industrial settings and breathing in, all sorts of particulates from working in an industrial place that just happens to smoke cigarettes, that it's the cigarettes that cause the cancer.
Yeah, we've discussed this before. So I've got about 47. Just stop me when you want me to shut up. Dad was in the plastics industries. If you've ever walked into a factory with plastics, or if you've ever burned plastic and you smell that smell, you'll never forget it. He breathed that since he was 14 years old until, 10 years, 15 before he died. Graham had driven a diesel school bus all her life for 35 years, and she breathed in traffic and fumes and all that. And oh, good Lord, Ed, it's so far past your. Isn't the home telling you to go to sleep?
In California right now, Gavin Newsom just felt a tremor in the force because Costello.
Ed's going to have to get everybody's cigarettes over in England.
That Costello is siding with Boris Johnson.
So how can I say because it's engraved in your brain. I'm not saying lung cancer is not caused by smoking. That's not what I'm saying.
No.
I'm saying there are plenty of other factors within it. And your 30% is my point. My father had it. He smoked for 60 something years. My grandmother had it. She quit 15 years before she got it. Mm-hmm. So wait a minute, right? Dad quit and he died within a year. He quit smoking and then he died. I don't understand. So I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
All I know is I question everything. That's all.
Always.
I'll shut up.
Yeah. MPs risk waving through policies which will further mislead the public into believing vaping products pose the same risk as cigarettes. Martin Cullup, a tobacco harm reduction advocate and former chair of the New Nicotine Alliance, told Filter, it only makes a small percentage of adults or youth vapors reverting. It only takes a small percentage of adults or youth vapors reverting to smoking, or people will smoke, deciding not to switch from combustible tobacco to dwarf any benefits the hopes will arise. It's currently legal to sell vapes to anyone 18 or older, as the government endeavors to make vapes less attractive to youth. Okay, we gotta proofread. We gotta proofread this. Vapes less attractive to youth. It also makes them less attractive to adult smokers who would benefit from switching to a less harmful alternative. The main problem with the tobacco and vapes bill is that smoking measures apply to people who are never going to get sick and die from smoking. Clive Davis, a tobacco harm reduction focused counterfactual consulting, told Filter. Vapes are already solving the smoking problem in younger people, he continued. By the time they are old enough to start getting ill from smoking at age 40 in 2049, hardly anyone in that age group will be smoking, and everyone will have the choice to use an alternative.
Mm-hmm.
Only around 19% of people in the UK smoke cigarettes, less than half what the smoking rate was in 1970s, but an estimated 80,000 people still die of smoking-related causes each year, and smoking rates among younger women have gone up 25% over the past decade.
Mm-hmm.
He says, Ed says he's trying to rake his forest. Is it manscaping time already?
That's the wrong show, Patrick. Follow the script.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
That's
The bill has measures with populist optics about protecting teens, Bates said, but it's going to make the smoking problem worse for the people actually at risk. So, you know, we've covered that story a few times, but Clive participated in it, so I figured we would definitely give Clive some
love. Amazing.
This is the UK. Girls are drinking and smoking more than boys.
Oh boy, here we go.
Young people in England have topped the global charts for underage alcohol use. A major report by the World Health Organization involving 44 countries found under 18s in England are drinking more than other nations that took part in the survey. 11-year-olds in England topped the stats with 34% of girls and 35% of boys.
11-year-olds are drinking in the UK, Kevin.
You know what, Patrick?
I'm glad we had our revolution.
You know what? I don't believe these numbers. 10 years ago, I'd have said, oh my goodness, look at that. That's crazy. Can you imagine? And now I go, yeah, I don't believe those numbers.
I'm confused here. It says girls are 34% and boys are 35% and other is 31%.
I don't know.
What the hell is it?
I don't know.
I don't
know. But they're not banning alcohol and they're not getting an age group.
You can be stopped, fined, or arrested by police if you're under 18 caught drinking in public. The research covered young people living in Europe, Central Asia, Canada, and included more than 8,000 children across English, Scottish, and Welsh schools. Experts who carried out the report said alcohol, which can damage children's brains, is being normalized. The study also showed that the UK has more of an issue with underage vaping than other countries, with girls more likely to have used a vape by the age of 15.
You go, girls, don't die of smoking. Congratulations.
Beating the average of all the other countries. Experts have said trying substances is a part of growing up and experimenting, but alcohol has long-term effects on health, and the results from the study are concerning.
Yeah, you'll grow up.
The government said
you'll grow up and be like Kevin if you start drinking too early. I'm just just saying.
You wish.
The health advice is clear, and that's why there are age restrictions in place.
So, Patrick,
what?
Yeah. Just humor me. I don't see who's saying that they should age restrict and ban and take flavors away from alcohol. How's come? Is there some reason maybe that you could think of that?
Well, I'm sure they have a much better lobby than we have. Much better.
Huh.
And they present themselves in a much more professional way than the vaping industry has in the past.
Well, I've seen good in the industry, and I've seen ass hats, and you've seen 10 times, tenfold.
Tons of ass hats. Not this Houston Oilers hat, but tons of ass
Holy
hats.
Jesus Christ. So, yeah, and I've heard a few stories that I probably didn't want to know, and I now know, and I don't care. Doesn't matter. But, yeah, ass hats are us. Yeah.
I mean, for every Nick that shows up in a suit and tie and presents
And
himself
James
in a professional way. There's
Mr. Marshall.
There's 100 dudes that show up at a hearing like this
and
with
Peggy,
$400 Yeezy shoes, and their underwear hanging out of the back of their pants, and and I'm not saying that we should judge a book by its cover, but the problem is they do.
That happens. Yeah.
Optics is important.
Extremely important.
Show up, look professional, speak proper English.
Articulate.
Don't yell.
Yeah.
Don't yell. F the FDA and stuff like that.
It
happens.
that.
Yeah. Kevin, when I said for every Nick, I wasn't inviting you to name everybody that you know.
I can't name them all anyway.
I was just trying to make a point. For every Nick, there's 100 dummies.
Yeah.
I know. You like to get your friends' names on here all the time. I know.
Well, Ed's here, so
Ed's the bad apple, though. He's
like
in the chat. He's in the chat doing exactly what I just said. Don't do.
That's right.
So this is a piece from the Conversation, academic rigor, and journalistic flair. It says here, vaping now more common than smoking among young people, and the risks go beyond lung and brain damage. Oh, okay. Vaping is now more common than cigarette smoking among young people, according to a new report coordinated by the University of Glasgow and commissioned by the World Health Organization. This echoes research that has found the popularity of vaping among young people in the UK has surged in recent years. The number of children experimenting with vapes increased from 7.7% in 2022 to 11.6% in 2023, according to a survey conducted by anti-smoking charity ASH. Most of the children wanted to try vaping out of curiosity and were aware of the promotion of vapes in shops and online. Other motivations for using vapes included the ease of obtaining them, the flavors. Young people are particularly attracted to fruit and dessert flavors, and help connecting with peers. But vaping comes with many risks to young people, including harm to lungs and brain. Adolescence is a delicate period for the development of the brain. During this time, the brain grows, changes, and forms new connections. The parts that control emotions and reward develop faster than those that help with planning and self-control. This can lead to teens taking more risks, such as vaping. Nicotine, which is contained within vapes, affects teens differently to adults as their brains are more sensitive to it. Brain receptors affected by nicotine are important for learning and addiction. Even low levels of nicotine exposure can make teens more likely to get addicted to other substances, experiment with risky behavior, or develop mental health problems. So if you use nicotine, Kevin, it'll make it easier for you to become addicted to something else.
Yeah, that's what I've been told.
So even though you never tried heroin, you're now suddenly addicted to heroin because you tried nicotine.
Right. Whew. Good thing I didn't know all that.
Yeah, that's frightening to me, Kevin. Because when I was smoking, I never once thought about snorting a line of coke, but now I'm glad because I'm I guess quietly addicted to cocaine because I haven't tried it, but apparently I'm addicted to it.
Yes, it is there all over again. So
nicotine can have long-lasting effects on the adolescent brain. Nicotine exposure can harm a young person's ability to learn and focus and make them more likely to act impulsively when they reach adulthood.
What?
Yeah. Nicotine can harm your brain and affect the way you learn and reduce your focus, even though we've already shown scientific evidence that proves without any reasonable doubt of scientific evidence that nicotine enhances cognitive focus, and enhances learning, regulates mood. Wow. Regulators. Oh no. Speaking of Billy the Kid and the Young Guns, they're apparently they're making a Young Guns 3 with all of the surviving members of the Young Guns.
Is it necessary?
They won't be young guns anymore. They'll be drooping guns.
Oh.
Yeah. Even a small amount of nicotine can be risky for teens who are predisposed to conditions such as asthma, making them more sensitive to stress and possibly leading to mood problems later in life.
Did they remove all of the tea and other vegetables and nightshade plants from their diet?
I'm not even gonna answer that question, Kevin. Young people who vape may be more likely to start smoking and find it harder to quit any nicotine use at all. And using vaping products alongside other products containing nicotine, like cigarettes, for example, may be even worse for the health. Again, I invited earlier for them to find me any list of harms. Nobody's responded yet, Kevin.
There aren't any.
Yeah. Remember we talked about this one. There are many less obvious risks to vaping too. The chemicals in vape liquids can, including various toxins, heavy metals, and possibly even radioactive polonium.
Well, who doesn't like a little polonium in their?
Well, we know that the Russians enjoy polonium because they use it to assassinate their political opponents.
See that modal verb there, or word,
and possibly
could. Well, you just don't know.
No. Polonium, Kevin. That's pretty. I mean, the KGB used to use polonium to kill their people that they wanted to kill,
including their own.
Yes. Well, there's a really cool documentary on Netflix about spies and about how the Russians, invented gadgets that they could use to spy and kill their, other spies, and they had a polonium gun. Yeah. The ingredients, how much of each is used, and the temperature to which they are heated can also affect what ends up in the vapor. Some vapes may also deliver more nicotine than the user expects. This could be because of the specific mix of ingredients different brands put in the vape liquid.
Well,
now this is, again, UK, Kevin. Right. So I don't think that they realize that to sell e-liquid in the UK, you have to submit your testing and stuff to the TPD, the EU people.
Correct. Yeah. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. For instance, Agent Ann years ago said that the tolerance level for instance, rat hairs in your hot dog is like 9.
Yeah.
Or in a pack. And there's a tolerance level generally of most ingredients in most things that go right through and nobody cares.
Yeah.
So,
I'm sure, and I think we actually might have covered this on the show. The number of cockroaches, bug parts that are allowed to be in a loaf of bread and in a bag of flour, and
I think we did, but just as a snarky comment, that's all.
Yeah. The variety of flavorings in vapes is concerning, especially for teens. With over 7,000 flavors on the market, such as fruit, candy floss, mint, chocolate, vapes are designed to be appealing to young people. A 2023 U.S. study found teens are especially drawn to more fruity flavors. But these flavorings might also damage. No, okay, Kevin. We have to. So kids will. You're saying to make everything tobacco flavored, and fewer kids will do that.
You're saying me?
They are saying.
Oh, okay.
They are saying this. So when there was no vaping and youth smoking was through the roof, were they not smoking tobacco flavored cigarettes?
Yeah, they were.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sure there are variations of flavors within those, but
the logic in this is quite retarded to me, Kevin.
Right, but the general public doesn't know that doesn't smoke. They don't
back
know.
when smoking was the highest that it's ever been. There was only cigarette flavored cigarettes.
I liked those,
and
I really
plenty
did.
of young people.
I sure did
use those. So
actually, Ed may recognize this.
Well, I mean, Ed was around when the dinosaurs were rolling cigarettes for people here.
Ed was around before cigarettes. Ed, do you recognize? There we go. That makes it look good. That makes it look nice. Yeah. Lucky strike.
That's a little 5-packer right there.
Three pack.
Or a 3-pack.
Yeah.
But these flavorings might also damage the lungs, potentially causing a serious condition called popcorn lung or bronchiolitis obliterans. This is a condition that affects the smallest airways in the lungs and can lead to coughing and shortness of breath. Now, let's be clear. Bronchiolitis obliterans. Now,
oh, Lord.
Obliterans, Kevin. I mean,
that's
exactly what you think it is. It doesn't just lead to coughing and shortness of breath. It literally leads to death. But since there's never been a single recorded case of bronchiolitis obliterans caused by vaping or smoking, I think that you're potentially is a lie here. Yeah, I'm just saying.
It might.
Yeah. There is some evidence that these flavorings, which are often highly concentrated in the vape aerosol, can harm cells in the body, Kevin.
No way.
If you take a bath in them, maybe. The Flavor and Extract Manufacturers Association is the national body representing the flavor industry in the U.S. It has raised concerns about how well vape flavorings are tested for safety, particularly for inhalation purposes. It is important because some flavorings, like diacetyl, diacetyl alone is not a flavoring, is an ingredient in a flavoring.
Idiots.
That imparts a buttery note, which can be used to give a butter-like flavor to food, seem harmless when you eat them, but can cause serious lung problems if inhaled. Only if you inhale a semi-truck size dose.
Within an allotted amount of time.
Yeah. This is a chemical linked with popcorn lung, which has been seen in workers exposed to high levels of diacetyl in food factories. As a result, major popcorn manufacturers have removed diacetyl from their products, but it is still available in vapes in very, very limited flavorings. Most other flavoring houses have filtered it out, but there are some flavoring companies that still use it, but they specifically only use it in their lines that are not being marketed to vaping.
Oh, and those consumers who purchase that know it and like it and want
to
it.
Do it anyway. But
fuck off.
Yeah, most flavoring, Flavor Art, all the big companies, they pulled diacetyl out of their flavoring years and years ago.
Yeah,
but they may make a line of flavoring that is marketed to confectioners that still have it, but they don't sell that on their
right.
Yeah. The process of extracting nicotine from tobacco can leave behind other chemicals like nornicotine and residues such as cotinine, and improper handling or storage of these substances can create impurities that are harmful to health. Now, you do realize that the nicotine that we use in vaping is the same exact nicotine that the pharmaceutical companies purchase to put into their NRT products, right?
Exactly the same source.
They buy it from the same suppliers that we do.
And guess where it comes from?
India or China.
What plant?
The tobacco that we use for our nicotine is not the same tobacco that we use for cigarettes.
I know. It's still tobacco.
It is a special genetically engineered tobacco that has higher concentrations of nicotine than natural.
It has to be done.
That's just so that they can produce more. Yeah.
Yeah. Profit. That's right.
Dimitri told me that, and I did not. I was just I was like, "Oh, you're way smarter than I thought you were." At least on this topic.
Oh, I missed you. Wasn't it him and Phil dumping liquid on their hands on a show?
I do it all the time. I taste my liquid all the time with my finger, Kevin.
I'd done that a few times, but
yeah.
Have
if you're refilling the tank and you get a little bit on your finger, what do you do?
Have it your way. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So,
tasty.
Since I grew up in the 80s and you say, the 40s, I'd have to ask Ed, being the elder, did they do these types of things with cigarettes at any point where they would explain how these things are not working or the kids or whatever? I don't recall any of that. Nobody gave a shit.
You're as old as Ed. Quit trying to make Ed feel old.
Oh, all right. So all I know
is just like you are.
Cantankerous is it? 70s. I think we should have a poster of Ed. Now, I've never seen Ed. I've seen a couple profile photos. A poster of Ed at every single shop. Tobacco, beer, doesn't matter. Porn. Right at the door, and it should say, "I'm watching you, you fucker. You better be of age."
No. I think the better use for Ed's photo would be Ed says vaping is cool.
No, well, yeah, that's true. But
so then that would steer the children away, and they're like, "Oh, if that old fogey likes it, then it must not be cool."
Oh, damn, he's older than me. See, told you.
He says he's pretty dang old.
Dang old.
Yeah.
I still love you. It's okay. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Here, let's this is the most recent article, Kevin. It was just published at 6:00 this evening.
I was napping.
This is the latest on the menthol tobacco ban, the menthol cigarette ban, Kevin.
Oh, do tell.
This was hot off the presses. C-store decisions here. White House delays FDA's menthol ban. The decision to delay the ban comes 2 years after it was initially proposed by the FDA. The White House announced today that it has temporarily dropped its planned ban on menthol cigarettes. The ban was initially proposed by the FDA in April of 2022, with the intended deadline of August of 2023. In October of 2023, the FDA sent final rules to the White House OMB, but the review was still listed as pending with the office. The most recent deadline for March has also come and gone, leading to public health groups filing a second lawsuit against the FDA earlier this month. With the election coming up, it's expected that the delay will continue at least through November. This rule has gathered historic attention, and the public comment period has yielded an immense amount of feedback, including some various elements of civil rights and criminal justice movement. Xavier Becerra, the Health and Human Services Secretary, said in a statement, "It's clear there are some more conversations to have, and that will take significantly more time." According to the CDC, menthol cigarette sales make up 37% of cigarette sales in the United States. The hit to retailers could be significant should this menthol ban take effect. Yes. Retailers have also voiced concerns about safety should the ban be enacted, noting that it could create an illicit marketplace for menthol sales. No, people would just go to their nearest Indian tribe, Kevin.
You know what I want to hear? I want to hear a soundbite of a politician saying or responding to the words, we need to ban X, whatever it is. I want to hear the soundbite of the politician saying, we can't afford to do that.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't matter what the affordability part would be responding to. It's that they can't afford to do that.
So and our listeners know that we actually showed an article written by a African American civil rights group that said this was specifically targeting African Americans.
Yes, sir.
Because regardless of the total amount of nicotine of cigarettes sold, the vast majority of African Americans that do smoke smoke menthol cigarettes. It may not be as many as white people that smoke regular cigarettes, Kevin.
Right.
Which is, I think, the point but by and large, I mean, they're a very small percentage of the total population. When you enact a ban on a product that the vast majority of any group uses, it can be used as a weapon or a cudgel on that group.
Why not?
So NATO, which is the trade organization for tobacco outlets, has listed here. It said that how this would affect them. It would have a substantial negative economic impact on reputable licensed and regulated retail businesses. It would severely negatively impact government revenues and the public programs that they fund. It would result in significant unintended consequences, including the fact that the supply of these products will shift from licensed regulated retailers to an already flourishing illicit market. And that licensed and regulated retailers sell tobacco products responsibly and are in compliance with all laws and regulations, which is already preventing youth access to menthol cigarettes and flavored cigars.
Ding.
So,
ding.
Yeah, it disproportionately affects one group. So, yeah.
Then why not? Somebody said, why not? Fuck them. That's what they
Ed
said.
is 68, which is only a couple months older than you.
Yeah, but it's like 3 days.
Yeah.
But I look good for it. And so does Ed.
Is that what you think?
Well, I'm convinced. Yeah. My wife never wanted me to have a beard because she always wanted me to have a beard rather because it made me look younger when I shaved. And now she doesn't care. So I can shave.
Yeah, she's not looking at you in the middle
she
of the
don't
night.
care. It's 32 years. She don't care. She barely puts up with me. We will not comply.
Yeah. So Kev, we're gonna slide over to the Rumble. Because we have 4 things to talk about over on the Rumble that several of these we are not going to get by. YouTube is not going to allow us to speak about these things on their platform. So are
you going to let me out early tonight?
Possibly, yeah.
My sister will thank you.
We have 4 articles, but these 4 articles are very non. We can't talk about them over here. So let me get the link here. I'm going to copy it and put it in the chat room for everybody, just in case there just happens to be somebody that doesn't know how to get to Rumble and how to, watch us over there. But here's the thing. So I put the thing. See, they've already monetized our channel over on Rumble, Kevin, because there's a commercial right now.
We've made 90 cents this year so far.
Not even.
Okay. All right, then. Well, there you go.
If I got everybody that was over here, at one point there were 60 people in the show, to watch the show over here, then we would be making a couple cents.
Oh, There's Cranko Broad come in.
Yeah,
She's just sneaking right in all by herself.
She is not. She says
You
this.
are
she's 65
not.
and a half.
She's a liar.
We know you're Weeble.
Liar skips on fire.
Her husband. Did you see that our friend he got access to the phone?
No, I did not.
There's a picture of a doggo sitting on her lap while she's asleep. On the Twitter.
No, I missed it.
It was so cute that I didn't make fun of it, Kevin.
Oh, I don't know what's going on with my algorithms because I normally would see that.
Yeah.
Oh,
but anywho, we're gonna slide over to the Rumble. I'm gonna go get some more drink. Kevin's probably got to go get a coffee or take a leak.
At least the coffee.
So we're gonna play a I don't know. Let me pick up. Let's play a. I think I can make it.
Skip. I showed Michelle being kind.
Oh. So we're gonna do a 2 hour and 35 or 2 minute and 35, not 2 hours. 2 minute and 35 seconds. We will be back. Go meet us open.
Science is back, and I choose science over fiction. And so if the science is demonstrated is doing great damage, then I don't care what it does to a small business person who's selling this stuff. If it is damaging lungs, if it's causing the kind of damage that is said, and that study's not been fully done yet, if it turns out that it is, then I would eliminate it. I would make it, I would go after it in a hard way. I would make it broader, not just for he is.
If we get asked a specific question by a teen, either a direct message to us or via social media about the relative harms of vaping versus cigarettes, we try to be as clear as possible that if your comparator is a cigarette, vaping is less harmful.
In England, the Royal College of Physicians has apparently done a great deal of research on e-cigarettes, and they have actually found that compared to smoking cigarettes, the rate of damage from e-cigarettes is 5% of what it is from smoking traditional cigarettes. You're reducing the damage by 95%. Hey, I don't think vaping or e-cigarettes are good for you. But if you have to choose between smoking and vaping, I happen to feel that vaping is safer. I don't think vaping is good for you.